Championship back-to-back. The Bulls have learned their lessons well. They've grown up. They win a championship.
The celebration has begun in the Chicago locker room, and they are celebrating in Chicago as the Bulls take the Lakers in 5.
Michael Jordan is the unanimous MVP. He got all 11 votes. Here we are with Michael, surrounded by his mom and his dad and wife. Under the hat, that wasn't fair, but I'm covered with champagne. I can hardly see. Michael, what does it mean to you?
It means so much. I mean, not just for me, but for the team, for the whole city. It's been a 7-year struggle. I mean, when I first got into Chicago, we started at the bottom, and every year we just worked harder and harder until we got to it. And it's so gratifying. I'm appreciated so long in my life. For my family, for my kids, everything. It's the most proud day I've ever had.
We read that when they broached the subject of the "I'm going to Disney World" commercial to you, you said only if all my teammates are involved.
Yeah, I wanted that to happen. For them, they deserve it. Whatever I get, whatever financial situation I get from that, I'm gonna spread it amongst the team. I didn't want it. I want the team to have it. I want everybody to prosper from this whole event. It took a team to get to this point.
Is there a sense of completeness and fulfillment for you now that might not have been there for all your other achievements before?
Well, I wanted to get here. If I never got here, I would never have been disappointed about my career. But it caps it off. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the city. I'm just happy that I was able to be a part of history in the city of Chicago.
Is there a feeling of a passing of the torch, Magic Johnson?
Does it bother you that so many people are happy to see you fail?
Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, all the people that was rooting on me to fail, at the end of the day, they got to wake up tomorrow and have the same life that they had before they woke up today. They got the same personal problems that they had today. And I'm going to continue to live the way I want to live and continue to do the things that I want to do with me and my family and be happy with that. So, they can get a few days or a few months or whatever the case may be on being happy about not only myself, but the Miami Heat not accomplishing their goal, but, they got to get back to the real world at some point.
Scotty, there had been some criticism of you not playing up to last year's form. You were big in the 7th game against the Cavaliers. You were huge, especially in the 4th quarter tonight.
But I've been always able to bounce back, and I think my teammates is a big part of that because they've always been behind me and helped me, when the critics were down on me. That's why I really appreciate this championship now.
That's
to really get a lot of critics off my back. I still got a few more months of the Olympics to deal with it, but I just appreciate my teammates being able to step forward and help me out.
Michael, you told me the other night in Portland this one would be more relief. The other one was exhilaration. You still feel the same?
It is, man. It's just so gratifying for me personally. I went through a lot of hard times this year, but I stayed strong. Everybody supported me. We played well today. I'm glad for Bobby Hansen. He's the only guy that didn't have it. I'm glad for him.
There were stretches in the playoffs where you had to carry your team. You were the high scorer again tonight, but you got help, especially from Scotty.
Everybody contributed. Scotty was a real big emphasis in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and I had a rough first half, but these guys carried us, and I was able to get in there in the 4th quarter and help pull it through. So it was a good team effort.
I think, and this is the free throw that seals it. What was going?
Every season's different, every series is different, but 2 years ago you sat at your locker for 45 minutes with a towel over your head after the game ended, and tonight you're in here already. Can you just go through your emotions in the moment and how it sounds silly how this feels?
Well, for me personally, I left everything on the floor every game, all 5 games. So for me personally, I have nothing to be. I have no reason to put my head down. I have no reason to look back at what I could have done or what I shouldn't have done or what I could have done better for the team. I left everything I had out on the floor every single game for five games in this finals, and you come up short. So, it would be the same if you feel like you wrote the best column of your life and somebody picked another one over you. How would you feel, Jason? So, you wouldn't hold your head down, but you would be like, okay, it's just not my time. So, Golden State is a worthy opponent. Obviously been the best team in our league for the last 3 years, the best team this year. And they showcased that throughout the postseason. And we were another opponent in their way.
will allow you to speak first on behalf of your teammates.
Well, I think everybody put their effort out there. You know, from Corey Williams to Ed Neal, all the guys that were going to injury reserve. You know, this is a hard-fought three-peat. You know what I mean? It took a lot of work. A lot of times it looked kind of dim, but we stuck in there. We hung together as a team, and you know, this is the reward of what the hard work does for you.
Thank you. The crowd here kind of blocks us from seeing the monitor. We'll try, but until Pax's winning three-pointer, you had all the points for the Bulls in the fourth quarter.
I knew Pax was going to make that. I just knew it whenever he got it. It was a great draw in. And, you know, for my part, I just try to do whatever I can. I hope you enjoy it, Bob. It feels good right now.
Is it joy, or is it relief, or is it a combination? This has been a great year, but a tough year.
It's both. You know, it's a relief. Plus, it's great to win. You know, I think we've gone through a lot. Me, personally, I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, but to cap it off this way means a lot to me, believe me.
I hate to make you look ahead, but you've talked about retirement in a year or two. Could you step aside if the streak is still intact?
No. You know, my love is strong for this game right now. That's how I'm looking at it, and I'm going to be here as long as my love is strong.
This has been, in many ways, your year with the Dream Team and with the certification in the minds of most now as the greatest to ever play the game. A final thought on what this means to you and your team.
Well, I think it means a lot to us. I mean, because we make history. Very few teams have done this. You know, especially when so much parity in the league right now. This is a major accomplishment for the franchise and for the team. And, you know, for me personally, you know, I think it was something that I was looking forward to separate myself from Magic and Bird. They never did it, and I did it. So that makes me, you know, feel special, I believe it.
Congratulations.
First question in the second row on the right.
Lebron, David Barkley, KTSF. First off, congratulations on the win. So this being your third title, there's obviously a lot of footnotes that separate this, but does this championship resonate with you as being a little bit extra special, being that it's for the city of Cleveland, for the state of Ohio where you grew up?
Absolutely. You know, just knowing what our city has been through, Northeast Ohio has been through as far as our sports and everything for the last 50-plus years. You can look back to the Ernest Biner fumble, Elway going 99 yards, to Jose Mesa not being able to close out in the bottom of the ninth. So the Cavs going to the finals. I was on that team in 2007. I was getting swept, and then last year I was losing 4-2, and so many more stories. And our fans, they ride or die, no matter what's been going on, no matter, you know, the Browns, the Indians, the Cavs, and so on, and all the other sports teams, they continue to support us, and for us to be able to end this drought, our fans deserve it. They deserve it, and it was for them.
David on the left.
David Aldridge, TNT. LeBron, I've asked you a couple of times about that, about the notion of what finally winning one would do for yourself and for the city of Cleveland, and especially for Akron. And I just wonder, now that you've accomplished it, you know, is it relief? Is it excitement? What are the emotions?
Well, I mean, yeah, David, you've been harping on it a lot the last couple of weeks, and you know, for me, I'm true to the game. And
now you remember just a couple of years ago that early flight to Indiana, where it all started. Now all of a sudden, it looks like this is a culmination.
It's been a long road. You know, it started from scratch. You know, I had a lot of support from my teammates, from my family. I'm just happy for the city of Chicago. I'm sorry I was out for 18 months, but I'm happy I'm back to bring a championship back to Chicago.
I know this is what you're pointing for, but as we look back at the baseball, we were talking the other day that you've almost forgotten about that. Seems like years ago.
I haven't truly forgot it. You know, those minor leaguers meant a lot to me. They really got me back on the road of thinking basketball. They showed me the genuine attitude that you have when you're playing a sport that you truly love. So I give a lot of gratification to the minor league organization, the White Sox organization for giving me that inspiration. But it's always great to come back and play in Chicago.
All right, Michael, congrats.
Well, first question, Joe on the left side, second row.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. LeBron, we're just learning about your hand injury, and we can obviously see the brace. Can you take us through what happened and if it caused you any problems over the final 3 games?
What happened? Self-inflicted. Post-game after game 1. Very emotional. You know, for a lot of different reasons, understanding how important a game 1 is on the road for our ball club. What would that done for us? You know, the way we played, the calls that was made throughout the course of that game. And I had emotions on, the game was taken away from us. I had emotions of you just don't get an opportunity like this on the road versus Golden State to be able to get a game one. And, I let the emotions get the best of me and pretty much played the last 3 games with a broken hand. So that's what it is. When you have a goal, I think any individual, anybody, male, female, whoever the case may be, when you have a goal and you like seek that goal out and you dream about that dream and you put everything in you can to, guys like this brace, huh? You guys like this cast, huh? You want me to sit right here for it? I don't even know where I was, Rach. I'm sorry. Next question. I'm sorry.
It's good. Whatever you decide this summer, how likely is it that down the road you would want to actually own the Cavs and be the guy in charge here?
Well, that top athlete money per year thing came out last week, and I was 6th. So I'm in no way, shape, and form putting myself in a position right now to own a team. I think Floyd was one at like 252. Obviously I don't have a boxing hand. So boxing won't be the sport I'll be going to. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, Mark, I think for me, staying around the game, being around the game will be something I'll probably do for the rest of my life, either, while I'm playing for this, this later stage of my career, advising, people in the NBA, or whatever the case may be. But, I got 2 boys that play the game as well. So I don't know. I can't predict the future on ownership and things of that nature. But I have a lot of knowledge of the game. I understand talent. I know talent.
5 finals, 5 championships, 5 MVPs. He showed us he's the best basketball player in the world. He's got the most courage we've ever seen. Congratulations, Michael Jordan, 1997 Finals MVP.
No, I didn't enjoy this journey. This was filled with injuries and suspensions, but we had a great run, didn't we? It was wonderful. Thank you. I want to take my hat off. Let me put it on. I want to take my hat off to the 2 leaders on this team, Scotty and Michael, who did a wonderful job.
Before you get out of here, Phil, see, it was so much fun this time. We're going to do it again next year?
Oh, man. I don't know. 3 times is nice. I know that. I can't remember when it was.
But you think you guys will get together and do it all again?
Oh, tough question to ask us right now. We're just enjoying what we're doing.
Celebrate. Go ahead and celebrate. Yeah. Michael, you're named MVP, but as you accepted the trophy, you said to Scotty that he was your MVP.
Scottie Pippen we're a tandem. It's hard to split us up. He means a lot to me when I go out and play on the basketball court. He relieves a lot of the pressure that I have to deal with. I try to do the same for him. It's hard to take this MVP by myself. He's got to take half of it. I take the trophy, he may get the call.
Scotty, the first one had to be real sweet. What about the 5th one?
This one is great. It was a lot tougher for us, a very difficult task to beat the Utah Jazz. We take our hats off to them. They gave us a hell of a series.
Just to pick up on something you said the other day, Pop, about LeBron, I just asked him, when people say you need to be more aggressive, and he just cut me off and he goes, I don't really care what people say about me needing to be more aggressive. You've kind of picked up on the fact that he's really kind of somehow changed his approach in terms of the noise.
Yeah, I've said it a lot. During the season, people ask me, before the playoffs. I mean, he's grown. He's a grown man. He doesn't need any of you to tell him anything. He knows more than all of you put together. He understands the game. If he makes a pass, and you all think he should have shot it, or he shoots it and you think he should have made a pass, your opinions mean nothing to him, as they should not mean anything to him. He's a great player, and his decisions are what they are. It's a game. All decisions don't work out. They didn't always work out for Michael or Tim Duncan or Shaquille O'Neal or Kobe Bryant or whoever. You make a decision, and that's what you go with. But all the chirping about what he should have done, I thought it was hilarious from the beginning. And frankly, I was very happy for him as the year progressed, when it became obvious he was comfortable in his own skin and didn't need to listen to any of you all.
Once again, it is now time for the 1998 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player Award. And once again, here's the Commissioner, David Stern.
Big surprise, 6 championships, 6 MVPs. Michael Jordan, get over here. You grace us with your presence. You've contributed mightily to our league. And tonight you gave one of the singular performances in the history of the NBA Finals. Thank you and congratulations, 1998 NBA Finals MVP, Michael Jordan.
Michael, you have won this award before, but somehow I have the feeling that this one is more special than all of them.
Well, let me say hello to my wife and my kids at home, because they desperately wanted to come. I didn't want them to come here today because I wanted to focus on the game, but I wish they were here to help me celebrate. I know they're there cheering, and I can't wait to get home. But to the Utah fans, you guys are a tough bunch to play in front of. You guys came out with a lot of loyalty and respect for your team. You made it really tough for us. We really, after losing Game 5 in Chicago, a couple of us dread coming back to Utah because we had to deal with the fans because of the energy that they bring to the game. But we had no choice, so we had to come in and play our best, and you guys made it a very competitive finals, and it's very worthy to win this, and I think of all the championships that we've won, this is the toughest.
It doesn't get any easier, but at the beginning of the season, this was the goal that you set out for. How wonderful was it to make this into a reality?
Well, I tell you, when you start the season, I'm pretty sure every team next year is going to start with the focus of finishing and winning their last game. We started with that focus. It was a long road, a lot of different tasks and little bumps in the road, but somehow we made it, and I think everybody who looks at this year is going to have a lot of gratification and understanding and a lot of dedication.
There were a lot of times during the course of the season that people doubted the Chicago Bulls, doubted that you'd be able to come back and pull this off. Even during this finals series here, people doubted you. How did you guys stay so confident?
Well, I mean, this team is one. Our leadership is strong. Our leadership is very positive, very determined, and it filters down to the rest of the players. And we never let anybody give up. We believed in it, and we kept coming for it.
All right, I've asked everybody if they're all going to come around to try to do this again. One more time?
I would love for that to happen. I think that's something that's got to have to be determined over summer.
All right. Congratulations.
Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. All we have to do is look back at history to know that Michael Jordan was the ultimate professional, and LeBron James never grew up and still to this day is a man-child. So let's see if this video gets copyright strike. I fixed a lot of stuff. If you want to see the actual footage, I'm going to put it in the description so I don't get in trouble. But yes, what you're hearing is coming from the actual footage. We just had to, switch some things around. So, yeah, I want to hit on a couple of things first and go through the video of what we heard, and then you can go see the visual in the description. That's if you don't remember it. I mean, so the first clip, the 91 championship, Mike talks about the 7-year struggle, and they just kept coming back, working their butts off, and they finally made it through. He gave a lot of credit to, pretty much all the credit to his teammates. And One thing that got me was when they spoke about him going to Disney, and this was in a prior interview, I guess, if he won the championship, about him going to Disney, he said he wanted to give it to his teammates. They deserved it. It was a journey for the team. And that anything he got financially and personally, he kind of felt like, I didn't do this by myself. And we can move on right here, but let's talk about the fact that, when you work so hard and you're hard on your teammates, and it might come in another way. It might come as a parent too. You might be hard on your children, but when you see that success at the end of the day, whether it's them graduating college, high school, and being something, it's just gratifying. Yes, you were hard on them, but the outcome was great. And that's what Michael Jordan felt. He was hard on these guys, but it was for a reason. And when the outcome came to greatness, the championships and the recognition, he gave it to them because they took on his challenge to be great. And that year in 91, hell of a year, if you go back and look at it. Swept the Pistons, only lost one game in the playoffs. And I could put that clip up. I didn't put the whole entire clip on there. But, before the clip came on, it talked about how Portland in the West was the powerhouse of the NBA. The West was the powerhouse, and that Portland was supposed to be back in the NBA Finals. And the Lakers beat them. And when the Lakers beat Portland, everybody thought that the Lakers were just going to curb stomp the Bulls. A lot of people don't understand history. And they won't go back and look at it. The Bulls, they weren't supposed to win this. And even if Portland was in the championship in 91, Portland was going to be the favorite because they were in the championship in 90. So the clip number 2, 2011 NBA Finals, we know about that. The postgame after LeBron lost. That's just a question that you got to duck. And you just got to say, I don't know what you want to say really, but you don't answer that question like that. You just talk about your teammates, about coming back better and stronger. Talk about how, it was on you. It wasn't on your teammates. You put that on your shoulder and say, this is professional sports. This is what people do. They talk trash. And you got to move on. You don't say that as the face of the league. That's ridiculous. That's childish. And I don't think he's ever recovered from that. I mean, you just left your team after having the number 1 seed 2 years in a row. And then you melt down because you said your team wasn't good enough, but it was you melting down in 2009, 2010. And then you go build this super team with other teams' number 1 franchise players. And then you melt down again. So you go to this press conference after the series is over, and then you say this. This is a man-child. 92 Bulls championship. They were talking about Pippen in a post-game celebration, how he didn't have it, and that he did come through in some games, but Pippen gave all the credit to his teammates. He didn't try to deflect or say something else, didn't blame the refs or nothing like that. Didn't say he won't get in the calls. He just said his teammates were there to carry him. And Michael Jordan said in that same interview that gave all praise to the teammates. So they go to the 17 finals. And you guys go back and look at some of this stuff in LeBron's interviews in the postgame. He's always got these hats on. He's looking down like he's reading a script. All this stuff seems like a script that he's reading off of. I don't think he's doing it entirely, but basically he knows the script, but he keeps looking down, making sure he's on track of keeping it right. We talked about this before, I talk about this a lot, how they turned the NBA into a soap opera 2010, 2011, when LeBron went to Miami. It just turned into a soap opera. That's it. They said, this is what we're going to sell our Game On is a soap opera. Because truly, the NBA would have not have let this guy do what he did, right? Kobe tried to get freaking Chris Paul and they stopped that. So why didn't they stop LeBron James? Why didn't they stop him from going to that celebration before he even won a championship, talking about not one, not two, not three? Remember, this is a business. They can tell him not to do this. But they wanted to make the league out of soap opera because these guys really, the new guys really have no fundamentals like that, no leadership. And you could see it in the ratings for a minute. It was dropping off. You had no more great big man centers. Nobody wanted to be a center no more. And the ratings were just dropping off. So to me, I think the NBA went this way and it stayed this way. So in that interview in 2007, after they lost, what was that, 4-1? The reporter lays out the hurt foundation for LeBron to make excuses and talk about himself. So the reporter just starts out with, you were hurt last year, and then I can see you end up being hurt this year, or you're hurting or something like that. He was talking about an injury. So he just made an excuse right there for LeBron James. And then LeBron goes on to talk about how he put everything on the court for me. It's just about him. We'll talk about that Cavs team in a minute. The Bulls three-peat. Jordan gives all the credit to his teammates. Right? Gives all the credit to his teammates. Many of these interviews, they try to say, what about you, Jordan? Jordan, you. Jordan. No, he gives all. Why does he give all the credit to his teammates? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about this. 10 seconds. Should be pretty easy. Well, he gives his teammates all the credit because he was hard on his teammates. He didn't let nothing slide in practice. Everything had to be right to a team, perfection. Because that's how he saw how Magic was winning, how Bird was winning, how all these other guys were winning before him. And then on top of that, he wanted to do something that Bird and Magic never did. In Isaiah, win 3 in a row. And he speaks about that, and he said he wanted to separate himself from them. And we always talk about this too. Michael was always looking to separate himself from these guys. Whether it was the scoring titles, whether it was not losing 3 in a row, whether it was playing more games, 82 games, well, the three-peat, it just goes on and on and on. First team defensive, a scoring title, all NBA, all this stuff in the same season, multiple times. He was looking to separate himself. And we can just go on and on. It's just mind-boggling, the things that he just totally separated himself from everybody else with these things that none of these guys ever achieved. And it's no knock on them because they were great players too. But he wanted to, look, he just didn't want to win 6 championships. He totally wanted to separate himself. Most points per game in the finals, what are we talking about? We could just go on and on. This is the stuff they don't talk about in the GOAT debate. They'll tell you the championships, the finals MVP, and the statistical titles. We can go. Come on, man. Just separates so much stuff. And what else? He said something about the 3. Man, I forget now. Goodness. We'll come back to that. Man, it was a good one too. 3 championships. LeBron, 2006 championship. First of all, look, I know he was answering the question right there, but first, man, you got to stop, man. Just give praise to your teammates, your coaches, and stuff like that. You sit up there and you told a storyline. Who cares about the storyline first? Talk about your family. Your family was right there. But you didn't even talk about your family that was there. It just seemed like a prop. And when the clip stopped, when he said, "I'm true to the game," I just stopped it right there because that's not true. You jumping team from team and flopping and traveling and doing all this stuff, you're not true to the game. It was a great win. But you saw in 2017 the clip. My thing is, okay, I think it's in 2018 interview. So 1996, Michael Jordan basically gives all his teammates the credit, and then he talks about the minor leagues. And that gave him a different perspective of hard work. He was just playing baseball for 3 years and 3/4 of a year, and wins the championship the next year after he loses. And he's giving credit to the minor league guys. He could have just skipped over them. Hell, they're just minor league guys. They're not professionals. But he knew what they went through, the hard work that they went through trying to make it to the pros. 2018 loss for LeBron. LeBron comes out with a cast. And I don't know if it was this clip, but it was one of the clips where he talks about that he's talking about the Warriors. And they're going to be a dynasty. I mean, they're going to be a team that's going to be good for the next 3 seasons. He don't really see nobody beating them. This is my thing. After the 2017, you lost to Durant and them. Why didn't you go get another guy? Why don't nobody want to come and play with you? Why don't you take less money to try to beat this team? Why don't you go shut down Durant? Why did Stephen A. Smith literally get on first take and everybody said you quit on your team after the after the first game in 2018, the JR debacle? You quit in overtime and you quit the rest of the series, and y'all got this dude as a GOAT. You need me to put up this footage? We try to act like this stuff, and not of him playing. I'm talking about of everybody in the sports world criticizing this guy and called him a quitter. He goes on in that press conference, laughing it up, having fun. Oh, do you want me to put my brace on the table? Laughing it up. He talks about obviously we know about this. He talks about he hit a chalkboard or something like that. Had been playing hurt ever since game 1. After game 1. Really? Why would you come out there and put that out there? Why would you come out there with the cast? So, 97, Jordan gives all the credit to his teammates and even says Scottie Pippen should be the MVP. Scottie Pippen is his MVP. In that, if he can't get the MVP trophy, Scottie Pippen, he gets the car. I guess that's the prize they get, right? That's Michael Jordan. So this next video, a Greg Popovich, I think it's the 13 finals. And I don't know if it had just got underway or whatever like that. I'm not sure. But it was just a weird clip that I seen of him protecting LeBron. And I don't know if he was protecting him or he got sick of answering questions about LeBron James. And him pretty much melting down, passing the ball away, putting it in other people's hands, just his career up until that point. Because up until that point, he only had 1 championship, a lot of meltdowns, and you're the new face of the league. There's nothing wrong with losing. But we're talking about epic meltdowns. 11, 10, 9, 8 in the NBA, not to mention internationally. So the whole thing was weird. Pop was I don't know if he was protecting him like he was his son. But look, man, Pop didn't show no mercy on him in 07. And then they barely beat Pop in 13. And Pop came back full throttle and cursed on him. So I don't like how Pop was talking to some of that media. It was weird. Giving this dude all this credit for not doing nothing. Oh, he knows more basketball than you. He don't have to answer to you. And what? Pop, you tripping, man. Did they pay you to act this dumb? They would never have to do that for Michael Jordan. Never. Never ask any silly questions like that, because Mike always came through. Even if his teammates was choking it down, and he still won't get up there and blame his teammates. So the 98 championship, Michael Jordan talks about his family first, gives respect to the Utah fans, says that was the toughest championship that they ever faced, and gave all the credit to his teammates. The plumbing crew was the toughest opponents in the finals that they ever faced. Huh? Wow. Well, when you're about fundamentals and X's and O's, you sweep Shaq. You beat him 4-1. You go out and you beat David Robinson and Duncan in back-to-back seasons. You go out and beat a trio of Hakeem, Barkley, and Drexler, who all, in back-to-back seasons, who all went to the All-Star game in both of them seasons. This is what plumbers do. When we talk about the Spurs, the Mavs, and the Warriors, we won't say they were the most athletic team of all time. Right? It was the fundamentals. That's what beats a LeBron James team. Right? Because a LeBron James team only plays on athleticism. That's why he never had a pop. That's why he couldn't stay in Miami. That's why he only gets coaches to where he can play off his athleticism. He can't play fundamental ball, X's and O's, because he doesn't have any positional skills. He doesn't have that. He doesn't possess that. Right? He can't work the paint. He can't work the box. He can't shoot the mid-range. You know, how many times have you seen this guy come off a screen and just pull up from the mid-range? That's a shooter. He can't shoot free throws. So he don't want to go to great coaches like that, Popovich or something, because they're going to be on his ass. You're going to have to work in, you're going to have to play in this system. And those are the teams that beat him, that play in a system, which means they play together. That's the only way you can win. All great teams I know, from the Celtics to the Lakers, even those teams that beat him, the Mavs, the Warriors, all these teams played in a system. He don't do that. Just got to figure out what he wants to do. So yeah, this is it, man. You heard it from their mouths. LeBron James never grew up. He's a man child. He don't have enough help because he's melting down. He gets the help, and then he still loses. Michael Jordan always did it right, whether it was winning, whether it was effort, whether it was the press conference, always did it right because he held himself to a standard. And the people before him held themselves to a standard. The Birds, the Magics, the Kareems, the Dr. J's, all these people that ever went out there and talked in front of the public held themselves to a professional standard. And they took the blame when stuff went bad. And when things went good, they gave their teammates all the credit. Yes, Mike was, to be the greatest of all time, he had to put all the pressure on his teammates because it's a team game. You see Tom Brady over there screaming and hollering. It's a team game, so he's going to put it on his teammates to be as great as he is. But at the end of the day, these guys are going to give all the credit to their teammates because the teammates sacrificed like he did. It's professional sports. These guys want to be better than you. They want to be recognized as the best or the best team or had the best run or something like that. So they're out there in practice working as hard as you. It ain't nobody that can be walking around and say they got Michael Jordan's gold medals in international games, Jordan's championships in the NBA Finals, Jordan's Finals MVPs in the NBA Finals. But they can say that about LeBron James? Tell me what you think.